Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I am Coach Julia, and today we are going to talk about proper skating etiquette out on a freestyle session. So I know a lot of you do skate on public sessions, and so this is going to be a little bit different. But for those of you who skate on freestyle sessions, there is proper skating etiquette that we need to be following when we're out there on the ice to make us good participants in the sport. Now, different rinks have slightly different etiquette policies, but there are some overarching things that are true at pretty much every rink, and I'm going to talk about those today. Now, on usfigureskating.org, they have a whole list of on-ice etiquette, and these things are great to look over just to make sure that you are being considerate out on the ice. And these things are like, don't kick the ice and cause holes. Don't stand around in the middle of the ice. If you want to stand, go to the wall. And so there's things like that that are on the US Figure Skating site, and I can put a link to that down below so you can read through that code of ethics to make sure that you are following those as well as you can. Even if you're not from the United States, it's great to read through those just for some good reminders about how to be a good skating citizen out on the ice. So in addition to not standing around in the middle of the ice, there's actually a sort of flow of how things go out on the ice. And I'm going to post a little picture here. If we look at the very center, you'll see a yellow section that says spins. So usually, since spins happen in one spot, the best place to practice those is in the center of the rink. And then we have jumps happening on the outsides of the rink, so the ends. So in the corners you can see a blue section that says Lutz Corner. They're in this corner because Lutz's have that long entry edge, and we need a lot of space to set up for that Lutz. And those two corners are the best place to set up for that Lutz and have that long edge without interfering with a lot of other skating. And then you can see kind of a purplish area that says edge jumps. So that is going to be sow cows, loops, axles. Those are all going to happen there in those edge jump corners. So your Lutzes are going one way and your edge jumps are going the other way. Okay, so those two corners are your jump corners. Flips and toe loops often go straight down the center. Okay, so if you have someone doing a flip and a toe loop, it usually happens right between your edge jump corner and your Lutz jump corner. So generally, all of the jumps need to happen down on the very end, the two ends of the ice, to give the spins room in the middle, okay? And so keep all of those jumps down on the two ends of the ice. You have two little sections that say standstill jumps. Those are the little green standstill jump sections. So if you are working on doing your axle from a standstill, you want to do it down there on the end. You see a red perimeter all the way around that says no jump zone. Don't jump right next to the wall, okay? I know people who love to hug the wall when they jump, but we need to leave a little bit of room for people to maneuver around the ice without being worried about getting ran into with the jump. What this does not have on here is if there is a harness, okay, a jump harness, then you always want to, as a skater, give that jump harness clearance because they literally can only do their jump where the harness is. You also don't have on this chart moves in the field or dance, all right? So moves in the field and dance. The moves in the field are going to be all different patterns around the ice. You'll see people working on a line doing loops down the line or three turns or edges down the line. You'll see them doing perimeter patterns all the way around. And those moves in the field have to be done in that exact pattern. Just like ice dance has to be done in an exact pattern. Just keep an eye out for someone who's practicing a pattern, a specific pattern, because you want to give them space for their test. So this is the basic map of where everything's going to happen on the ice. Now, things don't always happen exactly like this, but you want to refer to this in your mind as much as possible to make sure that everyone has room to practice what they need to practice, and we're not going to have issues with people running into each other as much as we can. This brings me to my second piece of on-ice etiquette, and that is right-of-way. Anyone who is in a lesson has the right-of-way. Even if you are working on a test and your test is tomorrow, if there's a skater who is in a lesson, that skater in a lesson has the right of way. okay? So that means when you're in a lesson with your coach, you have the right of way, but then you need to give that to other people when they're in lessons. When you are paying for a lesson, that time is precious. And so we all need to be polite and make sure that people in lessons can go where they need to go and we're not getting in their way, okay? And then if someone is running a program on the loudspeaker, if their music is on a loudspeaker, you need to give them room as well, okay? So when your music's on the loudspeaker, everyone's gonna be trying to get out of your way. So when their music is on the loudspeaker, you get out of their way. Okay, this brings me to my third piece of skating etiquette, and that is music. So music is something that can cause lots of problems on a freestyle because everyone wants to have their chance to play their music, right? So as a coach, I carry a little handheld speaker out on the ice. So when I'm giving a lesson and I'm working on choreography, I can have my speaker and it's a volume my student and I can hear, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming for the whole rink. That way we can practice that choreography and we can run that program, and I'm chasing them around the ice with this speaker in my hand so that we can practice it as many times as we need without using the airwaves. If I'm working on a solo program, I'll put in one headset, not the other side. That way I can still hear what's going on the ice. I don't want to miss someone skating by and cause an accident. So I'll put in one headphone and I'll practice my routine on repeat with my headphone. And then when I'm like, okay, I'm ready to do it on the loudspeakers, I'll get in line. I'll put my CD or my phone in the line and take my turn playing it on the loudspeakers. At our rink, we have these belts, these brightly colored belts, that whoever's music is on the loudspeaker, they're going to put that belt on. And that alerts everyone in the rink that even if you don't know their program, you can see that bright belt and you can kind of keep an eye out for them and get out of their way. Now, different rinks do it differently. Some people have vests, other people have belts, some don't have anything, and I just think that sounds like chaos. So if your rink doesn't have a belt system or a vest system, maybe you should talk to your skating director about putting belts in. So music box etiquette. We don't want to play our music back to back to back to back. Okay, that is so annoying, and it's actually in the US Figure Skating Code of Conduct. We do not play our music back to back. Okay, so you have to give other people either a space for it just quiet or a chance to play their own music. So once you've played your music, you're going to set it either at the back of the line or you're just going to wait a little bit if it's a quiet session. You should have 2 run-throughs on the loudspeaker max of your song. If you need to keep running it, put it on your headset, okay? Because it's dominating the airways to play it over and over again. Now, coaches get coaching cuts, all right? That is true pretty much anywhere. So if you have your music in the queue and you're waiting to go, and a coach is teaching a lesson, that coach can jump to the front of the line. Now, this might be so frustrating if you're waiting, but imagine if you were in a lesson and your coach wanted to put music in and there's 10 people in line and your lesson's going to be over before then. Coaches get to cut, okay? Now at our rink, we allow 3 coaches cuts before another student gets a turn, okay? So if it's a busy session, all the coaches are trying to go, we allow 3 to go, and then you have to give someone else a turn, and then we can have 3 more coaches cuts. On a very busy session, not everyone is going to get to play their music, okay, on the loudspeakers. So bring your headset, bring an AirPod or something, and practice it in your ears so that you don't miss out on a chance to run your music. Remember, it's up to each of us to help make sure that the environment at the ice rink is a safe and positive one. To do this, we want to be courteous to those around us. Don't stand in the middle of the rink. Head to the wall if you need to take a water break or just think about your next move. Keep an eye out for the other skaters to make sure that everyone has space to perform the moves that they need, and especially keep an eye out for those in lessons or running their programs. Let's not scream or yell or cause disruptive environment out there. If you make giant craters in the ice with your toe pick when you jump, be polite and refill those craters with some snow so that other skaters don't trip in those holes. And it's a little easier for the Zamboni to smooth out the ice surface. A good rule of thumb is just to treat others on the ice the way you would want to be treated. If you enjoyed this video, please do give us a thumbs up. And as always, I look forward to reading all your comments in the section down below. If you haven't done so yet, then hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell down in the corner so you can see all my videos when they come out. Happy skating, and I'll see you next time.